وتأتون في ناديكم المنكر. تعددت جرائمهم وفواحشهم. يقول سبحانه: إنكم لتأتون الفاحشة ما سبقكم بها من أحد من العالمين. وهذا رد على من يقول إن هذا أمر في النفس البشرية. لا، هذا خلل في النفس البشرية، فلم يسبق لهم أحد بنص القرآن. يأتون الرجال دون النساء، ويقطعون السبيل وينهبون الأموال ويجهرون بالمعصية، وتأتون في ناديكم المنكر. حاول معهم مرارا وتكرارا إلا أنهم صدوه وأرادوا أن يخرجوه، وقالوا: أخرجوا آل لوط من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون. يريدون أن يخرجوه، وما هي عقوبته؟ الطهارة. الطهارة صارت مسبة وجريمة، لأن أهل الرذيلة لا يتحملون أن يبقوا يواجهون أهل الطهارة، يذكرونهم بعيبهم وخطئهم، يريدون أن يفسدوا المجتمع كله، حتى لا يحسوا أنهم أهل الشواذ وأن غيرهم هو الشاذ. وهذا ما يسعون إليه، أن يكون أهل الطهارة هم الشواذ. لم يستجب للوط إلا ابنتيه، حتى زوجته لم تكن معه في السبيل الذي اختاره. وهذا قد يبتلى ويمتحن به المؤمن. قد يكون من أهل بيته من يكون على عكس منهجه أو عقيدته. يقول سبحانه وتعالى: ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط كانتا تحت عبدين من عبادنا صالحين فخانتاهما. وهذه الخيانة خيانة العقيدة وليست خيانة الفراش. فخانتاهما فلم يغنيا عنهما من الله شيئا وقيل ادخلا النار مع الداخلين. وجاء ذلك اليوم يوم امتحان تبات لوط عليه السلام. لوط دعا الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينصره على القوم الكافرين، فبعث الله له 3 من الملائكة. هؤلاء الملائكة مروا على إبراهيم وجاءوه بالبشرى وأخبروه أنهم سائرون إلى قوم لوط. أشفق إبراهيم على لوط وعلى من آمن معه، يقول لهم: إن فيها لوطا. قالوا: نحن أعلم بمن فيها لننجينه وأهله إلا امرأته كانت من الغابرين. فدخلوا على قوم لوط في صورة حسنة، وعلم القوم بذلك. استاء لوط لذلك، ليس لأنه لا يرحب بالضيوف، ولكنه منع من أن يستقبل الضيوف، ولأنه يخشى الأذية عليهم. قال: هذا يوم عصيب، يوم صعب. ووقع ما ظنه وأحس به لوط عليه السلام. فقد جاء القوم يهرعون عندما سمعوا بأولئك الضيوف ووسامتهم. أغلق الباب وصار يجادلهم، يقول لهم: الطهارة والعفاف، إن هؤلاء بناتي هن أطهر لكم. أي البنات عموما أطهر لكم، فاتقوا الله ولا تخزوني في ضيفي، أليس منكم رجل رشيد؟ قالوا لقد علمت ما لنا في بناتك من حق وإنك لتعلم ما نريد. حينها تمنى أن تكون له قوة والسلطة وسطوة، قال لو أن لي بكم قوة أو آوي إلى ركن شديد. أمهلهم وقال لهم اعطوني وقتا. دخل على أضيافه فإذا بهم في حالة من السكون أنكرها لوط عليه السلام. سمعوا ما حدث وهم لا يخفى عليهم ذلك الحديث، ومع ذلك ما زالوا على هدوئهم وسكونهم. قال إنكم قوم منكرون. قالوا بل جئناك بما كانوا فيه يمترون وأتيناك بالحق وإنا لصادقون. ما معنى ذلك؟ قالوا إنا رسل ربك لن يصلوا إليك، إنا رسل ربك لن يصلوا إليك. حينها قام جبريل عليه السلام وقد جاءوا كلهم في صورة حسنة، يصعب على الواحد أن يميز أنهم ملائكة في صورة بشرية. ففتح جبريل الباب وطمس أعينهم. يقول سبحانه ولقد راودوه عن ضيفه فطمسنا أعينهم. اي والله صاروا يتلمسون طريقهم ويتوعدون بالعودة إلى الغد، إلى أنه لن يكون لهم غد. يقول سبحانه إن موعدهم الصبح أليس الصبح بقريب. فجاء الأمر أن يخرج لوط وابنتيه، فما وجدنا فيها غير بيت من المسلمين. هؤلاء نجاهم المولى سبحانه وتعالى وخرجوا بسحر، إلا آل لوط نجيناهم بسحر. ذلك الوقت الثلث الأخير من الليل وقت المناجاة ووقت النجاة، فنجى الله فيه لوطا وأهله إلا امرأته كانت من الغابرين. حينها جاء الإذن والأمر لجبريل عليه السلام أن يضرب الأرض بجناحه، فرفعها حتى سمعوا صوت الملائكة في السماء، ثم أنزل الله عليهم حجارة من طين مسومة، حجارة معلمة لكل منهم حجر، حجارة متتابعة. وجاءتهم الصيحة وخسف الله بهم الأرض جعل عاليها سافلها، وأزال الله تلك القرية بالفاحشة التي فيها عن وجه الأرض، فلا يوجد لهم مكان اليوم. مكانهم اليوم بحيرة مكان عذاب خسف الله سبحانه وتعالى بهم الأرض. في هذه القصة جملة من العظات والعبر نتناولها بحوله سبحانه وتعالى. صلى الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعل مجتمعاتنا خالية من الرذيلة، وأن يبعد الفاحشة عن بيوتنا، وأن يثبتنا على دينه. All praise be to Allah, that when He guides us with this, we'll never ever be guided without His guidance. I bear witness that none is worth to be worshipped except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His messenger. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send His peace and a blessing upon him, his family, his companion, and the righteous people to the day for judgment, and may Allah include us with them. Ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, we have to understand that akhlaq, the good conduct, manners, and moralities are integral part in any society. And akhlaq, it's one unique system. And it's a whole system. All are expected to contribute in that in a positive way. And any person that will do something that might lead to damage or to spread the bad akhlaq or character, all society, they have to prevent that and stop and standing against that. This is the duty upon each one of us. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to invite others to goodness. And if we observe and witness any wrong act, we have to stand against that. As the Prophet said, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyir." Whoever has seen munkar, a bad character or a bad actions, he should change it. And the worst things that are in society that might actually destroy it completely, when normalizing the wrong act, when nobody cares, and people do whatever they want without any resistance, without any person standing up saying that is wrong. We are living in that time where it's a hard test for Muslims. And Muslims, they have a great duty to stand up for their right, for their morals, to protect themselves and to protect the society. And the believer, as the Prophet said, it's like a rain. Wherever they go, they will benefit. He will never say, I'm not belong to this society, I don't care. Wherever you are there, you have to contribute in a positive way. Today, my dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to share with you a story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shared with us in multiple places in the Quran. The story of the people of Lut alayhi salam. Prophet Lut alayhi salam, he's the son of Haran, and Haran is the brother of Ibrahim. So, Ibrahim, he's the uncle of Lut alayhi salam. And among few those believing in Ibrahim alayhi salam was Lut, his nephew, Lut. And he wanted to involve the whole family for spreading goodness. And that's why he sent him to a city that called Sodom. That's in the area around Palestine and Jordan nowadays. So Lut alayhi salam was assigned to go to that city named in the Quran Al-Mu'tafikah. Al-Mu'tafikah and Al-Mu'tafikat. And that's a city of 4,000 people or so. He was not initially part of that society, but he took upon himself to spread goodness in there. And he took upon himself to try to change that society to better situation. And he tried his best, Lut alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named that city Mu'tafika, and he said, "Wal mu'tafikata ahwa." The word ahwa, that somebody that fall from high place to the ground, to the lowest place. And those people, not physically, they went down, but morally, they were in the worst of the society. on the worst society at that time. And Lut alayhi salam was trying his best. And he said to them, you're committing such things that will not even exist in a human history. ما سبقكم بها من أحد من العالمين. And some people, they would say, you know what? Oh, that something was normal, something in a human that as their nature. No, that's against human nature and human morals. And they were establishing something where not exist before. And he mentioned some of their crimes, and he advised them day and night with different ways, back and forth, until they pushed him back. And they said, if you repeat what you are doing now, and you're trying, to insist on us, as a result of that, you'll be out of our city. We'll kick you out of our city. Can you imagine? What is crime? What is crime? They said it clearly. You are among mutatahhirin, because you call for pureness. You call for tahara. They have no issue with that. Tahara and pureness became that crime, for the people of Lut. And that's what's happening. Those people, they are calling for morals. They've been accused of standing of their principles. And they became minorities among others. He's the only one, and two of his daughters, and the rest are going astray. But despite that, he's the only one in that environment. He's still standing up. My dear brothers and sisters, that listen for all of us. At least we are a number. And we have a voice. We can stand up defending our morals. Do not think that's okay to let anybody do whatever they want, because the wave, it will come and will cover you. So if you are not resisting today, tomorrow the problem will be found in your home, or even inside your heart, where you are even afraid to stand up for your right and for your religion. So Lut alayhi salam, despite that he was alone, he was standing up. And he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for support. At that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him angels, 3 angels in a form of a human. And in the way they are coming, they stopped at Ibrahim alayhi salam and they give him the glad tidings. And then they informed him they're coming to Lut. And Ibrahim alayhi salam was telling them, they're among them is Lut. He said, no, do not worry about that. Among them is Lut. He said, do not worry, we are going to protect him and his family, except his wife. What's wrong about his wife? His wife portrayed him as mentioned in the Quran. Not portrayed him as you might think. She portrayed him where she adopted different belief. That's the greatest khiyana and betrayal. This is, the worst things when somebody will carry different ideologies. And that's why we have to watch inside our homes. You find a lot of Muslims, they feel they have to support whoever, being oppressed, as they think whatever comes with any idea, they said they are free to do whatever. They are free to destroy their life, they're free to destroy their society, they're free to corrupt their mind and the mind of others. How come? Which kind of freedom they are calling for? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the plan. The angels came in the shape of a beautiful men and people they were witnessing. Lut alayhi salam, he was not happy with his guest. Not because he doesn't want to welcome them, but because they threatened him that he should not accept any guest. And he afraid that something wrong will happen. That's why he said, this is a difficult day. It's one of the hardest day for me. هذا يوم عصيب. And what happened, that's why he was afraid it's happened. So all gather at the house of Lut. He excused himself to talk to the people. He excused from his guests to talk to them. And behind the doors, he was trying his best to convince his people, to go back and look for purity. And he said to them, those ladies around, it's better for you to marry them. And leave me alone and leave my guests, without any trouble. They said, you know what we are looking for. At that moment, he wished if he has the power, he has ability to stand up for his right. لو أن لي بكم قوة أو آوي إلى ركن شديد. At that moment, he couldn't do much except inquire the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's the most important things. Always we should go back to Allah. He went back to his guest and he found them very calm. They heard the conversation and nothing like it changed. He thought they might be terrified or they will try to find a way to escape. And he said, there is something wrong. There is something wrong about you, or my guest. That time, they told him, do not worry. We are the messengers of God to you. At that time, he knew those guests are angels in the form of a human. 3 of them, they were his guests. So Jibreel alayhi salam opened the door. And at the moment they opened the door, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them blind where they cannot see anything. Allah said, فَطَمَسْنَا عَلَىٰ أَعْيُنِهِمْ فَطَمَسْنَا عَلَىٰ أَعْيُنِهِمْ. And even though they cannot see and it's hardly, they find their way back to their homes, they're still threatening, and they said, tomorrow we are going to come back. And Allah declared that will be no tomorrow for them. Allah gave the permission and the command to Lut to leave at the last third of the night in that darkness to find his way out of that city. And Allah commanded, Jibreel alayhi salam to hit that city with his wing, and he flipped it upside down. And he took it to the skies up to there, until in one narration they said they hear even the voices of the angels. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stoned them, and you can imagine. And where is that city today? Not even exist. And in the place of that city, nowadays there's a lake. That's a sign for humanity. This is a sign of something that's happened in the history. And where is that city? It became part of that history. The history of a human, where they go out of rules and regulations, they became worse than animals. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described them. بل أنتم قوم تجهلون, قوم مسرفون. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described them and mentioned the reasons why they have done this. بل أنتم قوم مسرفون, because you are using fahisha in a way you have no control for it. You tried one desire that leads you to the other, and you're never ever satisfied. And that's a human. When they have no control, they will do things that even you cannot think of it. So that's one of the reasons. A look at that. This is one of the reasons led to this problem nowadays. There's no even distinguish and separation between man and women. And slowly, it's all are the same. So this is one reason. The second, because أَوَلَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ عَادُونَ. So do you exceed the limit and the direction of God? And that's what will lead. When the person will live with no religion and no faith, he will make his own fate, and he will never consider any of the divine laws. And the last thing is, بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. You are ignorant people. And because of your ignorance, that's led you to all of that. Maybe we'll get more time, inshallah, in the future, talk more about why this type of act spread in the societies and what's the reason led to that. From the light of the story that mentioned in the Quran, from the story of Lut alayhi salam, there are many lessons. Maybe inshallah in the near future we'll tackle that more and more. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروا يغفر لكم إنه الغفور الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ورحم الله عبدا قال آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد رسول الله صادق الوعد الأمين. اللهم صل وسلم عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين وتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها مولانا رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل وسلم على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين وصل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى ليوم الدين. اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين. اللهم عليك بالظالمين. آمين آمين آمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. اذكر الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Stone, straight your lines, leave no gaps. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, my dear brothers and sisters. May Allah protect you and your families.